Morning everyone, welcome to Austin, welcome to round 19. Crikey, round 19 of the Formula 1 2019 World Championship. 3 races to go, and actually today marks an exact month till the end of the season. Ugh, I don't like it guys, I don't like it. F1's going to be over soon, but 2 really good tracks coming up, and Abu Dhabi, the final race of the season, just on the cusp of the end of November, beginning of December. Bit of a wishy-washy circuit, but today we're focusing on the US, the American Grand Prix, a fan favourite, one of my favourite races on the calendar for sure. Absolutely love this place. The drivers love this place, and some of the helmet designs, I know some of you don't care, but some of the helmet designs this weekend are super sexy. Love the job some of the guys have done. In the preview, we have a look at last weekend, have a look at the Drivers' Championship, have a little bit of a circuit breakdown, look at the news, and do predictions. So if you're new around here, feel free to subscribe, but let's crack on with it. Last time out, Mexico. Bit of a anticlimactic race, is how I put it in my race review. Was really brewing up to be a really epic, titanic battle between the 2 Mercedes and the 2 Ferraris. Never quite came to fruition. Likewise with Max Verstappen, who did a really good comeback drive through the field. A lot of his overtakes were done on strategy, so even that kind of thing last time out didn't really play into the hands of the viewer, I would say. So the fact that at the end of the race we had one of the best podium celebrations of all time makes it go up a little bit in my rankings anyway. Lewis Hamilton, perhaps a little bit of a surprise winner, actually, and especially Bottas being on the podium as well. I don't think many people at the beginning of the weekend were expecting a Mercedes on the podium, yet alone a victory. Sebastian Vettel P2, Leclerc was on pole but only could manage P4. Your Drivers' Championship after 18 rounds. Well, the most interesting thing I would say is that Lewis Hamilton still hasn't quite wrapped up the championship. He can do it this weekend. He has to not score. Bottas has to win at this point to stay in the championship. It's pretty much done and dusted, ladies and gents. I'd be very surprised if Lewis Hamilton didn't win this weekend. The championship, that is, and also the Grand Prix. He is awesome around this place. We'll look at some of the statistics a little bit later on, but some more interesting things of note on the championship. The Ferrari-Verstappen battle is still brewing. Only 16 points separates Verstappen and Leclerc, so the fight for the top 3 is there. Gasly, Sainz and Albon, that's looking extra juicy. And Perez, Ricciardo, Hülkenberg, Norris, Kvyat, Raikkonen, any of those could finish in the top 10. It's looking very juicy indeed. Right, I think it's time we look at the actual weekend this weekend. So, I'll tell you what, let's start it off with a hot lap. Of course, I was going to be in the Haas for this particular hot lap. Welcome to the hot lap for the 2019 American Grand Prix. 56 laps, a circuit length of 5.513 kilometres. Last year, Lewis Hamilton got a world record lap of 1 minute 37.3 in the Grand Prix. And as we head through this first winding sector, lap 1, this can be a real tricky situation. Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll making contact last year on the opening few laps. Not necessarily a place for overtaking, I think it's fair to say. The only place in Sector 1 is perhaps Turn 1, that lovely uphill and down to the left. And as we now head down towards our DRS detection zone, this perhaps at the last stage in Sector 1 where you potentially could make a move. And now we go on to a fatty straight. We all love to see a fatty straight in Formula 1. DRS activated, rocket ship activated, and as you can see, I've actually left my ghost on, so that's not ideal. You can see this lap wasn't actually the best from me, but down into the braking zone, a brilliant view from the fans. You can see the Cota Tower, perfect place for opportunities to overtake here. Sebastian Vettel and Ricciardo went side by side here last year. Vettel, bit of a spinneroo, but you know, where hasn't Vettel done a spinneroo? And now going into the final sector, this lovely sweeping right-hander. You can touch the apex there if you really want to, but it all depends on driver's style. And as we head into the final 2 corners, IndyCar like to go nice and wide here. In Formula 1, we don't like to do that as much. And as we go through the final corner, that is your lap of the Circuit of the Americas. Right, Lewis Hamilton's pretty good at this track. That's what the statistics say anyway. Lewis Hamilton, in his career, for all the US Grand Prix he's been to, has only not won 2 of them. One of them being last year, another one being Sebastian Vettel all the way back in 2013. Yeah, he is good. And also in his rookie year, he won the Indianapolis race. That was held all the way back in 2007. Last year, we have a little bit more of an in-depth breakdown, and it was actually a circuit where, surprisingly, Mercedes struggled, and it was more to do with tyre wear. As you can see, Hamilton was on pole position, but in the Grand Prix, Ferrari, I don't say this very often, did a brilliant strategy with Kimi Räikkönen. Räikkönen taking his first win since 2013. A very emotional day for all of us Kimi fans. Verstappen was P2, redeeming some of his incredible comeback drives over the year. Had a bit of a comeback drive last year as well. Hamilton could only manage P3, but still, this weekend with a title on the line, Hamilton won in the US, won the title back in 2015. So I think he's going to have a bit of fun this weekend. Moving into the newsroom, you've just seen this picture for the last few seconds because, let's be honest, the fact that 2021 regulations and images have been officially released, finally, is lovely. I want to do a separate video on 2021. You might have already realised I haven't done one yet. The reason is, there's a hell of a lot to talk about, and I didn't want to do a 10-minute, just wishy-washy, here's what it is, see you later, because I don't think that's very useful. So I thought what I'm going to do, first of all, I love the regulations. Big thumbs up to most of the things they've added. But, I've mentioned it a few times, I'm launching a podcast over the winter, kind of. But I'm going to do a soft release this weekend. Just me, just sitting down, no guests this time round. Just having a little chat about the regulations. So that gives me time to practice with the podcast. Also just gives me somewhere to talk about it for half an hour to an hour. Because I think there's some people out there that have no clue what's going on. There's some people out there that really hate these regulations. So I just feel it'd be a good opportunity to have a chat there. So my basic thoughts and feelings is I like it. That's that's as basic as I'm going to go. It looks good. Most of the sporting regulation changes I really like. So Formula 1 for me is definitely going in the right direction. And the other bit of news, don't forget it's only been a week since the last Grand Prix. So the newsroom, it's a little bit stale this weekend. The Formula 1 game. I know a lot of you don't care about the Formula 1 game, and in the background there's a bit of footage from the open lobby I did yesterday. So if you don't follow me on Twitter, sometimes I announce open lobbies. And also, thank you for coming everyone. We had a constant full lobby yesterday. Pretty surreal moment for myself, to be honest. I never expected that. But everyone wanted to get involved. Awesome. That's not the news. The news is Codemasters, the people who make the F1 game, have got a 5-year extension to 2025 to make the games. But it's short. I think this is a good move. Some people would love to see an Activision or, I'll say an EA, just for the sake of saying EA. They'd love to see a real AAA developer make the game. I think that's unrealistic for Formula 1. It doesn't get the sales as other games like a FIFA. I'm trying, like is it Madden? Madden, that's the one. So I like it. I think it's fine. Moving on to predictions. I've gone with the Ferrari one too. Is that brave? Of course it is. Always when I predict Ferrari, they never actually win. I think the only time they actually did win when I predicted them to win was Monza. And that was just because I wanted to see a Ferrari win at Monza. So I've gone with a Leclerc victory. It seems like a very long time ago Leclerc got a Grand Prix victory. It was Monza, of course. But I think over the last few Grand Prix, he's not been helped out with strategy. Don't get me wrong. A couple of races back in Japan. Wasn't his best race whatsoever, but last time out, I think did get a little bit unlucky. So I'm going for a Leclerc victory and also a Leclerc pole position, which, let's be honest, Ferrari on pole these days, it's almost a given. I've gone with the Ferrari lockout on the front row. I've also gone with Vettel on the podium. So I'm setting this up to be a bit of a snooze fest of a race, but I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic for a titanic battle between Leclerc and Hamilton. That's my piece, ladies and gents. Of course, tomorrow, tomorrow I will do the practice report. So if you put your predictions in the comments below, I will feature my favourite 3 at the end of tomorrow's video. So you can follow this kind of rough outline of things to do. This is what I just put down as a basic marker to, increase your chances, let's say. But that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed. I know the time this is coming out is a little bit strange, so don't panic if you've missed this video. It's all good. It's all good. If you've made it this far and you actually did enjoy, there's a first. Hit that like button. If you're new around here, feel free to subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one.